All right, so yeah, dialogue is mode is minimal, and tutorial on new game is off. That I have various dialogue modes for those who prefer not to go after a whole lot of text. I also have speedrun split style because I think that's the best, in my opinion, that's the best way for me to organize this. And once I see the
commit your task to memory and do your job.
Right. There's the spread gun. Right. There's awareness crisis trigger. That is the crisis triggers are things that trigger once your shields are at 0. That's when you have one more hit before going down. This game was largely inspired by my favorite game of all time, the Guardian Legend. So that's why we have walking games. Right now I'm at Altair's. Well, the chief engineers for Falkenwehr, where Seraphine works, is yeah, they're all hiding because of what's going on here, and we get hi cat. And my cat has decided to jump around the desk. Hopefully she's gentle to my screen. I really hope she's gentle to my screen. Anywho, yeah, so there's each level has, I can equip 3 different weapons at the same time, a crisis trigger, as mentioned earlier, and a dodge tool, which enhances the dodge. Tumble is the one that I like to use, and it gives me a little extra movement on a dodge at the cost of that extra movement being vulnerable. It's a fair trade, in my opinion. You know, the blue tint is the effect of the thing, and yeah. You're gonna love what you see before long. I'm just gonna beeline right to it. The split's red. So, yep, that's what happens when you bat a big round circular thing. Down. All right, so
it may not be enough.
Okay. All right, so it's going to want me to approach them. Then the Mercy Crisis trigger, the one that I'm going to be using from here on in, is the one that I'm going to use. From here on in, because 5 seconds of mercy invincibility instead of the usual will give me a lot more of an edge, and it'll keep me in the game. This one, the context here is gnomes. That is, I gotta clear them out, and I'll be rewarded with the Mercy Crisis trigger. I'm not really, again, I have minimal dialogue on to keep things moving. So that's, otherwise, one of the XRD Xenospecies Research Department folks would have said something about that. I'll be a little bit on the awkward side doing this while my cat is on my desk and absolutely refusing to go, but that's why I signed up for. there's one of our future bosses. This is more of an effect than anything. The boss starts flying over there and line firing, not really hitting. Yeah, unlike TGL, which by the way I really liked, this game has checkpoints, like those white lines halfway. Because getting beat by a boss in an air stage and having to restart from the beginning would probably be a pain in the butt. Yeah. So I was partially inspired by Kid Icarus Uprising as well. Another game with air and land stages where the air stages are mainly to go to an area where you face a boss. In case things end poorly, I'm going to make a save. Like, there are several optional pieces of equipment here. They're guarded by these Onco. And there's the bat in action. It reflects any red projectiles over to whoever cast them, and does their equivalent damage. So it makes short work of the Oncos. Occasionally, Odile, which is the second part of the boss, will pester me while I'm doing all this. Let's see. Patience is another one I really like. If you survive for 15 seconds after getting zeroed, you will gain a quarter of your shield strength. That's another one I really like other than Mercy. This is Endurance. That increases... Yeah, that doubles the effectiveness of the next item pickup you acquire. Particularly with regard to shield recovery. And now to if I'm not fast enough in dealing with Odile or with Odette, then she would dive down and I would go back here prematurely. However, when Odette is down, Odile will use that wind attack to destroy. That wind attack and throw it at me, but batting it back will prevent it from using it for a while.
It may not be enough.
I'm not doing as quickly as I usually do. I'm gonna haul this one. You take the rockets and you take the rockets and you set them free after the cave-in. And if dialogue was on, it would have said something about coming back here for a bit of a meeting. but since I want to zip zoom, there we go. We go to the next stage. Missile base. There are these things that if they're too close to when they explode, they'll do a little extra damage. They're called Ifrits. And there's an enemy type that I really liked putting in. They telegraph by gradually manifesting up top and then zip zoom to the bottom. A nice little popcorn enemy. Kind of like those X-shaped ones in Star Soldier, but significantly less irritating because they have an actual telegraph. I mean, I like Star Soldier, it's pretty good, but yeah, that is a comparison that comes down. Checkpoint. And for effect, it has you walking a little bit to the missile factory as missiles from the Haywire missile installation start landing. And there's the second level of the repeater. In the Guardian Legend, it was based on chips. I don't have chips, and it doesn't work in this case. And chips wouldn't work for this game, so something a little more conventional here. All right. And there's the mid-boss here, Minotaur. Those axes are red, so I can bat them back. But Minotaur isn't that hard of a mid-boss, so I just decided to do that. Here's the homing missiles. I'm just beelining this and yeah, this is the only side scroller here. I guess I was in particularly.
It may not be enough.
I'm guessing I was in particularly good form when I was doing the dry run, because I'm not really doing things quickly enough here, although that will change with the stuff that I've learned for the later parts, and the stuff that I've decided to adjust because it genuinely wasn't fair for other folks who want to play this. Nope. So and this is the thing that allows you to access the rest of the stage. It's the plasma sphere. It melts these ice blocks here, which don't really appear anywhere else. And the main thing it does is it's a slow-moving, persistent projectile that does a lot of damage over time to folks caught in it. Now, there is, on the right side, there is a passage that leads to another dodge tool, Rock and Roll, which allows you to do dodges that do damage to things that they come in contact with. And that effect has a 5-second cooldown when it lands. You can still dodge while that secondary effect is cooled. And there's that. Another thing I really like doing was having mixed stages that sort of transition into flight from ground. I'm not going to BS with... Let's see. Yeah. Getting over here allows me to get to the storage room without having to get to the Eastern Passage. And this is another thing where the plasma sphere is important. It bypasses the ice wall and allows me to do more damage. Also, you can recall it by letting it go off screen.
Don't worry, we did everything right.
There we go. Covered all the other time I lost. Sound. Now for 1E. And 1E is an attack on a civilian location, a mall. You can personally talk to and rescue and mark it for rescue everyone there at the mall, and if you do, you get another dodge tool called Blink. But I'm going to skip Blink because because Blink isn't important to me. And our the Blink dodge tool allows you to, after a while, teleport to another location. It sends out a little marker, and at the end, and then after a half second, you immediately appear at the side of that marker. It doesn't go through walls. Those things there's this enemy which, when its arms are crossed, it takes half baseline damage, but otherwise it takes full damage, and sometimes it does like a sort of breaking wave attack. And its biggest attack is a series of lasers that you have to dodge very carefully. Like at the start, if you go to 0 shields, and I don't want to do that right now, I'll do it once. There. It basically opens up a series of little caches where one of them is where 2 of them have items, and 2 of them will just explode. Oops. Well, there goes the no miss. Not really my finest place to take a death either. The thing on the center bottom is with various hazards, and while you're probably not going to see that happen here, when you when you incur a hazard, it fills up a gauge. And when the gauge fills up completely, it's an immediate kill. A lot of the time it serves mainly as a timer than anything. Or as a reminder to get out of there quickly. It's also there for, it becomes a little more significant in a few later battles. So, this is what happens when you when you talk to someone and mark them for rescue. They say a thing and it marks them as one of them complete. These Passatsats are kind of, the best thing for you to do against them is stand back a bit and shoot them, but if the corrosion hazard is something that will only be a problem if you're careless with the hazard for the most part. You know, this is impatience is pretty good, and there are some places impatience will grab once you hit 0. It will replace everything. It will grab everything on the screen, every pickup on the screen. No, I'm just going at it. I'm not. The specialized striking explosive, the Spectre, is a good. There you go. It does a fair bit of damage. And it will split them up immediately. Managed to put.
It may not be enough.
Okay. Now I go over here. That'll, and then next up is get over to Administration Hall. This will be the last stage in Act 1, the last air stage, and I face off against 4 Rudras. When the dialogue is on, they have a sort of dialogue style guide. I'll turn the dialogue on. Whoops, that's the debug. I'll turn the narrative dialogue on specifically so that you can see the kind of how they talk. It's only really one-liners. Red uses a style guide that's largely based on things that sound like they make good one-liners. Rudra Blue sounds like a 14-year-old trying to punch above their weight in terms of dialogue. So they sound like Purple Prose. This is another thing where specters come. Well, okay, not when it's summoning missiles, but otherwise. All right. There we go. And this one's style guide is just straight up literal stuff. And, okay. It's supposed to be going up and down. I'm not sure what's up. Programming, not even once. So yeah, there we go. Right, so yeah, dialogue mode back to minimal. I just wanted to Rudra Black's dialogue style guide is mainly like sort of like sports and news announcers stuff. Let's see. There's the Vulcan. That thing is my new best friend. Best range damage per second in the game compared to other weapons of the same level. Not sure why the grenade thing, and I've tried to sort that out for a while, but I'm not sure why the grenade thing doesn't show its description. Alright, so minimal dialogue doesn't mean none. Sometimes when you need it for context, when it's absolutely going to be necessary for context, it shows up. And what happens here branches things off slightly depending on what happens in the game. What happens with this fight? It's time-based. Well, you shoot with the Merryman, you shoot the eyes, and then once the eyes are down, you shoot at the once the eyes are down, you shoot at the jelly itself. Do not touch the jelly. Just a suggestion. It will not go well for you. Cool thing about the grenades, which basically grenades don't explode until they hit a fixed thing, but they will do damage. Grenades will do damage, even if there's eyes. I may have fucked up. I might have fucked up the fast clear. But I haven't fucked up the fast clear. It was like 2 seconds.
It may not be enough.
Just like 2 seconds. And then it would have sprayed its poison, which would have given me an hour and 40 minutes until death. And if And if it gets to the point where it's poisoning me, after I defeat Merriman, it'll go to a different sort of thing where Seraphine wakes up in the hospital. She is just at the end of her recovery, which in universe takes a couple of days, and it affects what goes on at the place where I'm flying to right now, an emergency bunker for government officials known as Red Sector A. All the time I lost on this split, I'm probably going to make up by getting the Knights Templar lands like I didn't before. I'm pretty sure of it. Alright, if I defeat it fast enough, I'll get a bunch of extra enemies and immediately get the equipment at the end. Otherwise, I'll have to fight it, and it will do an attack where it sort of zigzags around like Storm Eagle, alternating between that and projectiles that explode and the parts slowly home up. Ikaruga is what inspired the gradual "it's creeping up behind you" thing that I wanted to do with the Wendigo. No, not the Wendigo. The Quetzalcoatl. Since I'm well behind, I'm just gonna zip zoom all the way to where the rocket L2 is. You need the second level rocket to destroy the Gorgons. And that's another thing dialogue would have informed you of. But again, I'd rather have this go for 2 hours and not, say, 5. That would irritate it. There's still some I haven't taken out. And this is why mercy's important. There's the Federated Worlds, there's the Federated Worlds gunners keeping things at bay. And there's Wendigo. And this area has a lot of recovery items, which you'll probably need fighting this. Since it's highly... Yeah. This boss alternates between a sort of goo form and that does occasional dashes and highly telegraphed teleports, and a form and looking like you, but not being able to do your attacks as well as you, but it still pursues you, and it still isn't something that can really be ignored. Shit. It's more predictable when it's trying to... Shit. Oh, shit. And
Don't worry, we did everything right.
now for 2B. Now there's an interesting story with this one. It's a real pain in the ass. It was a real pain in the ass, especially the ground stage. The ground stage is where there's a boss that you can occasionally do extra damage to in various lakes within the X-Climb area. And for the longest, it has a very... There was a lot of code that went into its behavior going from lake to lake and sort of popping up in front of you and attacking you and you attacking it. And it's submerging and surfacing code. And there were so many instances where it froze and I had no idea why, and unless there's some really weird edge case that I've put away, I've sorted it out. There's an optional sort of objective with this one where you fight a boss called Cachet, which you can't shoot and defeat. If you're going to fight Cachet, you have to destroy its 7 cubes with various things etched onto them, and each one will do damage equal to 1/7 of its health, and it will pursue you. And then once it does a big attack involving a massive flame, it'll go back to its starting location. But I'm not doing that because it takes like quite some time to do compared to just clearing this normally. And the crisis trigger it gets you, Courage, is more of a bragging rights item than anything. It's basically when you have 0 shields, you get 4 times your score. The points you earn for each action that gets points is quadrupled. So if you're doing score attack, it's worth it. If you're doing something like this, as I'm probably going to take another L here. $3cc. I'm not messing around. Oh, okay, I'm just going to show off. Yeah, there's the Rusalka. And once you do enough damage to the Rusalka, it backs off until it reaches you at another one. Right? And this is the area where you have to fight it, and it remembers what damage you did to it earlier. Yeah, so if you're going to be messing around with it in the other lakes further south, it's mainly about getting a good head start. This is the kind of thing where you can't really just stop and shoot. You really have to like get at it. This thing was the source of so many deaths playtesting it earlier, like a few years back. I mean, it was working how it was supposed to work. I just wasn't quite that good with the maneuvering, but it was. Let's see. Where are we? The Vodniks are good for getting equipment. If you need shields and ammo. Also, Plasma Sphere is good for laying it down and letting it do damage. Surge Shot is good for picking up things. It goes through walls and it picks stuff up. It's basically where I put. Hey, I just wanted something that could do that, and that was Surge Shot was where I decided to put it. Ironically enough, and strangely enough, inspiration from Mario. Completely different kind of game. Or Mario had like shells and that's picked things up. Even. go. The last thing I want to do is eat shit. I'm sorry, pardon my French. The last thing I want to do is eat a death. Oh, like right now! Good Lord! Yeah, I decided that if you have to restart after eating a death, it starts at 3,500 health rather than 5,000, because that would be embarrassing. Plasma sphere is pretty... Ugh. I don't want to bottle this. And I didn't. I didn't choke it. Excellent. I did choke the time. Fortunately, this is just a full clear, not a speed run. It's just that I'd rather do things quickly. Just going to head as far down as possible to get this over with. This is another boss that I found hard to actually play against for the longest time. You see it at the end of this. Largely because it controls a lot of space. I am struggling to play this as quickly as I would like. But yeah, I'll make up the... Once I get the KTL, all the time will just melt. Knights Templar lights. When you use the strafe button, S in air, it's a slowdown button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, down. And spread gun level 2.
It may not be enough.
Yeah. A hive mind of an invading hive mind of intelligent bug insect-like creatures has hijacked a solar laser-based anti-air artillery thing. It will zero your shields if it hits you. Now, if you're already at 0 shields, it'll just kill you. I think one thing I'll do before updating this will have, like, in the upper left message thing, something that says, like, warning, high a concentrated surge of energy approaching while it's doing the... Yeah, that. For accessibility's sake. It was actually poor on my part not to do that in the first place. Another one. Another swarm of Sibels, the aerial Sibels. And there's just one more little wave of them. When you clear them out, you get the item, and then you go to the ground stage. This actually is supposed to have background music. It's a little weird that it's no longer that's mute right now. That hasn't happened before. Let's see. You see those? You see these blockades? They alternate between plasma sphere and surge shot, or thermal and electric energy. Thing is, the baseline plasma sphere isn't enough to trigger the change from electric to thermal. So that's where the plasma sphere level 2 comes in. I'll actually... Yeah, it makes that sound. The surge shot, when aimed at this, has that sound, and if it was red, it would turn it blue. So yeah. I'm just beelining right now. There's some... Yeah, that's what it does, basically. Here's some context. Turns out my experience working on your plasma sphere weapon was totally applicable. I left a part I've been working on the plant that could boost its power for you. Once you got it upgraded, you can use it to open the red heat-operated doors inside. Shoot blue wall panels to change them red and trigger the thermal shuts. Yeah. And following the path led by that will get you to grenade level 2. Yeah, that. Back along the path, and yeah, so damage dealt to the whole Sibel hive mind sticks, and then you fight the rest of them in the exterior, where I'm about to go to. Speed-wise, I'm doing absolutely shit compared to how I did during the dry one. Otherwise, I hope I'm presenting this well enough. So yeah, there's the various ground-based Sibels. And when you clear them out, another wave appears. The small ones make these little rocks that are a minor obstacle. If they were a major one, it'd be a serious issue. There are different waves that come up of assorted medium, large, and small ones. And even if you take a death, you don't lose that much progress because the Citadels don't really recover that much health. Alright, so there's that. Now it wants me to go to the place called the Xanadu for a mass breathing. There we go. And I'm... it appears... I'm not sure what caused that because it usually doesn't do that. Alright, so... Oh, it appears...
It may not be enough.
My bad, I split late. Alright, so anyhow, here's 2D. There's this boss which attacks you throughout the air stage while occasionally backing off and allowing you to approach it more quickly. The goal is to defeat it, if possible, before getting there. If you don't, it'll show up in the top stages of the hospital. Both it and a Xenotyrant known as Fuku are trying to get to an area where there's a quarantine of a serious... of a major disease. If they breach it, that's considered a game over scenario. And fairly so. This runner is This runner had banked 2.5 hours for his. Even though I'm a bit behind my best times, I don't expect to take 2.5 hours long. Just going to... You're almost done for. Down. And yeah, the CJ Bat level 2 will reflect this thing that sends at you. It either lifts it and sends it slowly, or it lifts it and sends it quickly. Let's see. It escaped, so I'm just going to have to... The elevator. Alright. The thing is, it will escape every 2... After every 20 minutes. Shit, I am not hitting this. I am not hitting the baseball bat at all. I am not doing well with that. Alright, now it's frigged off to floor 3. That hasn't really happened before. Usually I bat the ball back when it's about to do the thing, and then it goes bye-bye. There we go. Successful clear. Also in third stage, there's a crisis trigger called Redemption, and when you fill its gauge, if you would otherwise take a death,
It may not be enough.
if you would otherwise take a death, you go back to full health. I like Mercy for its refillability and its immediate effectiveness, so that's going to be my personal preference. There's another one where I have some recurring bosses show up as semi-regular enemies. Most enemies, by design, have only a little bit of health, like between 1 and 10, so that they're easy to popcorn. Where special weapons in that case are more about coverage than anything. Bosses. This boss has a sort of scripted thing going on. You'll see it in action. It won't take very long. Normally it summons its little pod spread gun sort thing and some lucky cats. And then at some later point, it starts wilding out and gaining health, but that doesn't mean you're hosed. Both the boss in both this boss and the Sibel boss were based on prizes for locals who did events related to this game. Here's Izanagi. Regular Izanagi. There's a version of this that caused me no end of grief. If I start running into trouble with these bosses, I'll show you the importance of these entrances. They have health and ammunition for it, as well as certain equipment. Yeah. This is the second level of the drone, which has more health. And this has a couple of full health things. Health for both Iza Twin is persistent between stages. It's persistent in between transitions, and if you take a death here, the damage they don't heal to full. Shit. That's the second level force field, which prevents there. And there's the toll package, which gives me a full heal, full ammo, and max health. And now I gotta deal with this. She'll give me the repeater level 4. There we go. Yeah, so it's all that. Now to go to Spaceport Alpha.
Don't worry, we did everything right.
Saved a bit of time. The context here is that this Nomad is being done up, or this item is like a portable anti-EMP shield, and you have to stay within it in order to avoid taking gradual damage. But the damage isn't a whole lot, so you can jump out of it briefly. There's the boss of this stage is projecting a large EMP field. That's causing a lot of ships and a lot of air traffic to be ripped apart into little metal shards. And that's why this little portable EMP shield is there. The Gear Skogul, that flying enemy there, shoots out spears that magnetize some of these shards to where it is and send it a little past it. So if you want to, you can take the on. Stay safe up there. All right. Once you touch down, you're not really vulnerable to it. It's mainly something that goes on in the air. I'm just gonna beeline. I'm not really fooling around. Kidding me. Look, it looks like I found something interesting. Something I was certain I sorted out. So yeah, you touch down for a little bit on this plateau on the mountain, so you can get back up to where you can face off against Thor and deal with and put an end to its EMP shenanigans. There's the anti-EMP. There's the portable anti-EMP device there. All right. I'll temporarily turn on the dialogue narrative, or rather direct, and then you'll see what's what. once we get to where the boss is. Alright, if that EMP field kicks in, we'll stay close by. Alright. So, back to minimal. And back to this one runs around and occasionally attacks with a thunderclap to force you to go back on occasion. And its greater technique is Call Lightning, which has a couple of lightning things that summons and aims for the location that you're at when it's created. You just gotta get out of there and it should be fine. Also, once you've damaged it enough, it gets to certain different parts of the spaceport. Right. That's what the I was originally going to have you fly in between these areas, but in practice it ended up just feeling like filler, so I just had you go straight to the different zones. And there's Thor down.
It may not be enough.
Okay. Now to go to Hera City. Let's see. All right. Get out. All right. Miriam takes off your microjet, adds a few things to they're meant to be environmental improvements to make it a little easier to deal with poisons and the like, and other such hazards. Now I gotta go out there. Gary Weinrib of the Xenospecies Research Department, and then I gotta go to Farm Prime and stop Demeter from destroying it. I'm turning the dialogue back on for these guys again. You're gonna love them. The Rudras. I'm gonna make you regret getting in my way for the rest of your life. Both seconds. Well, you can deal with them or not. Your main target is a couple of roots. They're blocking the way to Demeter. Know that her duel be kismet, foreordained in the annals of yada yada yada. They have the same attacks on the ground as they do in the air. "14-year-old fanfic writers deserve better than to be poorly imitated by folks hell-bent on destroying Hera." Good morning, Irish Shadow! It looks like we're in for one hell of a throwdown this Sunday at the first annual Farm Prime Summer Slam. Yeah, that's its style guide. Like new news and sports broadcasts. Put away this thing. And last is the one guarded by Rudra White. Rudra White, the literal one. It would appear that I have lost my way of being defeated by you. This non-indicative data point should not skew our far superior leader entity possess, and so on. That's it's done. Back to minimal. Let's see. And the thing about Demeter is that it lets a lot of the enemies it summons do the damage while it's sort of like commanding them and summoning them. It starts attack after a while. It goes underground and starts attacking the farm prime itself, and then summons some stuff to deal with you while it attacks that. The poison is basically a reason for you to not let too many things attack you, because once that bar fills up, you're dead. And once that bar with the farm prime barrier empties, that's a non-standard game over. And there becomes a serious food security issue on the planet of Hera. Not that it's the only. I mean, there are a lot of places in Hera that they're capable of food production, but that one organizes them. And I just got my butt kicked. Chapter 3 is actually rather short, or Act 3 is actually rather short. There's Demeter again. Force field is very helpful in blocking the rays from the low plants. There you go.
It may not be enough.
Okay. There we go. Now I just have to go back to Falconbear. Oh my god. It's normally not this anxious. Okay, so in this one, there's a film crew showcase that wants to showcase the microjet, led by this character here. A little awkward for some folks. But again, I'm already a little behind as it is. I do. Now, the thing about this character here is I designed her to seem like she was from a completely different game. And Act 3 is a little bit different. You get the idea. I'm just going to go minimal again. If you skip it, it'll come back later. And that if you skip that little platform, the drone that comes, the little tracking drone that comes with you will come out of its own accord. Also, this one's a little unique. It's one where you have to rescue these folks. You have to from a caved-in cave. They follow you if you're really close. It took a while for me. The thing is, you technically can accidentally shoot them, but you have to really be concentrating fire on them for them to actually get hit, and that would provide a non-standard game over. I made a point of it to make it so that, like, that they basically have a lot of health and they regenerate it very quickly, much like Alex Vance in Half-Life 2. Where you have to be doing it on purpose in order to gank them. And if you do that, you get a very well-deserved game. And I'm not showing that off here. Let's see. Zero, 5, 6 left. There's 3 remaining. And those are the 3. All right, now for the next objective, exit the cave via the opening at the center.
Don't worry, we did everything right.
This one, overload the entrance rear door via surge shot. Everything's a little weird. What led to that? Actually, it's not supposed to look weird until you get around here. That's why even on minimal mode, it gives you that dialogue. I'm not sure why that's important. It's very eye-catching, don't you think? Okay. Something is causing her perception of things to be actually hosed. Like a lot. And now you gotta get out. If you're too slow getting out, you'll automatically get out and they'll change some dialogue. Let's see. Alright, there you go. The shenanigans are no longer happening. And let's see.
It may not be enough.
There we go. I'm just going to skip that and go back to minimal. This isn't actually a speed run. I was just really hoping I'd be able to shave some time off. Anywho, the equipment that was added to my microjet should allow me to approach the nymph without things getting weird. So the nymph will fire out these things while you're trying to approach it, and these things, along with every other attack the nymph does, will allow it to do something called enthrallment to you. That's another hazard meter where if it gets full, it's another non-standard game over. This thing's attacks are like that on purpose because it's intended to resemble a series of earthbound spell effects or earthbound psychic effects. When you get hit at 0, you don't actually die. Any other damage causes enthrallment, which it's still not something you want to mess with. I'm just going to... If you get hit, if it goes at 100%, it's a game over, and it just says, and Seraphine gives like a message that indicates that she no longer, that her mind is completely controlled. And they'll summon a few glitchy things. Down. And now we're in Act 4.
It may not be enough.
Anywho, you're checked on after defeating the nymph, and let's see. And afterward, let's see. Yeah, you have the option of going to this and getting an important optional item called UV Flash. It insta-kills anything that isn't immune to it and destroys projectiles. That's going to be very important near the end. You'll get the clue. You'll get the Argos Panoptes will do some. Well, there. Jerry says, "Quick, use the flash," and there you go. Okay. So, and okay, it's supposed to continue to have that music. Go. Yeah. This is on minimal as well because it provides important context for an endgame upgrade and a few side quests. And a side quest. That's in direct dialogue mode. There's a thing called Shield Crash, which uses strafe and dodge, empties your shield, and gives you an enhanced version of a crisis trigger. It also prevents shield gain for a while, so it's not something you want to use just flippantly. I'm blue now. Anywho, there's the other thing, the Death Claw. Okay. Whoops, supposed to be minimal. This is the one where you have a temporary operator, but since I'm going with minimal dialogue, anywhere you don't absolutely need it for context, I'm going to continue with that. This one, you're going down instead of up because there's a cracking at the bottom, and it's meant to give the feeling of diving towards the sunken cargo ship. It was meant to go to space. It crashed. It crashed and went to the ocean floor, basically. You'll see who these tentacles belong to before long. Bad Rito is getting live, so I'm going to want to do my absolute best here. I'm going to want to do my absolute best. Yeah, the Steel Seraph microjet, the blue one, also allows all of your equipment to be level 3, all of your weapons. That's how you get your level 3, actually. Note that there's some invaders that behave like other things. That's what happens. For the record, you can shoot it, and it says something about spoilers. And Seraphine is has a smug little one-liner. This is the ultimate technique of Pandora is that it will hide somewhere, and you got to find it before it does an attack, a big damaging attack, and then comes back. It uses a purple sword thing that voids your first slot's ammunition. In an attempt to make the player panic and be dependent on stuff. Also, when it does this hiding thing, it also sends a mix of genuine items and fake items that are actually Narcissory. The Pandora is often going to be a little off kilter, and that's a good clue to finding it. Let's see. Here's Pandora. Joke's on it, because it's doing the thing again. There it is. And it's almost dead. Down. And there's Deathclaw. It is the best DPS weapon in the game. And now for me to go over to the place where there's a test course called Hell off Earth. Get over here. This will restore your health and ammo. A Hell off Earth training simulation. Successful completion of the course will certify you and your machine to operate the Knights Templar Lance Power Armor Rail Cannon system. Good luck. I'm going to try it once, and if I cock up, I'm going to just get to the final area. Largely because I don't want to keep Pedrito with it. UV Flash is going to be very helpful here, as is Deathclaw. Deathclaw for its absurd DPS, and UV Flash for its projectile nullification. Force Field for its projectile, for the fact that guards against projectiles while it's active. This is a boss that prevents shield recharge while it's active, and it summons this green item that will debuff your attack capabilities if you let it hit you temporarily. It also This. By the way, despite all the time loss I had from the other stuff, and despite this not being a speed run, strictly speaking, once I get the Knights Templar Lance, I'm going to save all of the time I lost through not being fast enough. Right, this thing's greater technique is a large laser that follows it around. And that's something that I need to dodge. Using Tumble is my favorite one because it has a lot of distance. The extra distance is vulnerable, but it's still extra distance, so that's my favorite. Right, I got tagged there. Down. Okay. More of these Corsairs. These Corsairs can get to Frigg. The third Dreadnoughts. Fires these things that have limited tracking. I'm going to use Vulcan L3 for this. The thing is to hang down a bit because these will slow down and expand if you're too close to it, which is why I'm not using the Death Claw on it that much. Sound. Alright, now there's... Okay, there's that. And there's an enemy called Thanatos. That's the final Dreadnought. I bottled it. God dang it. I'm fine. I'm actually just going to go over to I'm going to go over to Spaceport Alpha and initiate the point of no return. All right. I'm not sure what's causing that. And then when I go back to it, it's perfectly fine again. When I go back to Spaceport Alpha, it'll be perfectly sound again. There's everybody that'll be wishing you well. There's the point of no return. And there's these folks that teleport in while the orbital elevator is going to its destination. I think I'm going to use redemption after all. In the interest of speeding things along, even though I choked on Hell Off Earth and the Knights Templar Lance, I will use the debug thing in order to provide it in the interest of moving things along. To show once I get to the Odolite, to show you exactly what it does. Yeah. Once I get to the boss. They are vulnerable to the UV flash. Yeah, there's a hidden variable called height, which is the trigger for when these folks gate in. At the top of it, and it speeds up when there's no enemies available. UV flash is basically the enemy eraser. These folks just boost the damage of others, right? Other shock troopers. It won't be long. There's our bot. Yep, there's our boss, and I will debug it so that I can move things along and show you what the Knights Templar Lance is. Yeah! What it does is it does 2,000 damage every frame it's tearing through an enemy.
It may not be enough.
Whoops. Okay, I'm going to use redemption instead, because I think that's going to come in handy later on. Not sure why it's not showing the gauge. There are these folks that when they do damage, they will come down and they explode while flashing red. It's this bunch, which was based on whoops, I'm not supposed to be holding the UV flash. more Quetzalcoatls. Huh, didn't switch to it. This one, you're just sort of powering through enemies, just zipping by them, not giving a single. There's the Sibels, there's the various Rudras, more Sibels. There's the Kirin. There's Bulawan. There's various Corsairs. There's Nikomata. There's my redemption pop. There's a popcorn segment. Let's see. And there's a bunch of missiles from the mothership. Everything from the mothership can be nullified using the UV flash. Here you gotta destroy all the point defenses on here. And yeah, that's... And there we go. Now I can enter the mothership through the left entry side. These are various defectors from their boss, who is the boss, who's involved. And there's the first of the EX versions of Xenotyrants. The thing about the golem is that when it bumps into a wall, it creates a shockwave. This one creates a series of icy prisons, and you have to shoot through. Yeah, like that. While also more frequently using its whiteout attack to cover itself in an ice wall. There's the Man in Angle, which... Where did it go? Where did the figure go? It has a strong attack that I'm just not going to let it use, but it would heal it and do damage to you. Also, it moves a little more quickly. And there's these ones, EX Sibels, which there's more of them in the area, and they have a little more health and damage about them. And if you take them out, you can... they don't heal the full, otherwise that would be a pure pain in the ass. Once, like the originals, once you get the full health meter of the Sibel Collective to 0, you've defeated the whole bunch. And this is where Mercy comes in. I didn't need a death there, that's good. Oops. Then there's this guy. He has a fun new trick. There's a reason why that the pink ball is heavily telegraphed. If it hits you, it will 0 you. It's called the death, appropriately called the death ball. Oh shit. I'm about to take one here. All ass. That's why let's see. If you're really good at it, you can if you're really quick with it, you can hit it back in one shot. You can hit it back in one shot this dude, but it's usually not worth it. Now that I've shown its capabilities, time to show the rail cannon's capabilities. The UV flash can kill the little ball that guides around, as well as the death ball that can summon, the pink one. Nope. Down. Okay. And now for the last one of these. This one's on a timer. No, wait, no, it's not the last one of these. It's the EXEs and the Xenon. This one required the most tuning because there are certain abilities that both of them had that could not work here. EX Izanami and Izanagi have, well, Izanagi has a counter move, and Izanami has like a highly damaging wave. This guy has more damage and shoots out the call lightning more frequently. If you're too slow to attack it, it will trigger an enhanced EMP of sorts that continuously deals damage to you. Anywho, we have a split that made up for all the others.
Don't worry, we did everything right.
Alright. The spank. Right. Actually, I think I did that a little prematurely. It's still the gravity generator, which will be an easy kill with the gravity generator. The thing that actually threatens you while the gravity generator is there is a series of shock troopers that attack you. Oh my god. I don't know why it does that after like a long sitting, and yet when I start again, it's perfectly fine. There's the lunar destroying the mothership, and there's the beacon guardian. It has other attacks, but I do want to get over to the other guy, so I am moving ahead. This is the last stage, the hyperspace beacon. There's the enhanced Nekomata, which already is going haywire, but with level 3 weapons, you can beat its recovery. Right. The Amons, they're summoning monsters. They're summoning enemies to this. They're summoning enemies to this beacon. Are the foes that you gotta get at before you can get to the last stage. The third one of these areas and the third Amon. Here's the Quetzalcoatl. I'm going to let it do some stuff there. Sort of zips along. There's the last EX air boss. It's a green Samadiva. And I'm going to let it ride. I don't know what, again. I guarantee you it'll be perfectly fine this time around. And after defeating all of them, I can head up to the last part of the game. Nope. Okay, no, I didn't put any items there. This will be very important here. This one has the last aerial EX Sibels. And shit, that does huge damage, but on the plus side, let's see. I'm gonna let it fire off one of those again. Yeah, you can play Ganondorf tennis with the giant ball that shows up, and eat shit to some other stuff it's fired. But if you're considerably, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that the EX Wendigo, which is meant to always look like a gooey, like a green amorphous version of Seraphine, has that ability. Or if you can't, as an option, you can simply clear it with the UV flash. There you go. And there's the final boss, Zarathustra. It's a small area where you have a lot that you gotta do. The thing is, yeah, you can actually destroy those things with the UV. Let's see. There. There you go. once you've... Alright. When it's at the last bit of its health, one thing it will do is it'll teleport and hit you with the purple ring. The purple ring is fatal. Shit. Now you gotta get out of here. You do get an alternate ending if you just wait it out, but you don't really lose it. Then you gotta get rid of this left thruster, which knocks the hyperspace beacon off course, so it's no longer on a collision course with Hera.
You have performed your duties perfectly.
And there you go. And that's Steel Seraph. Though the game that's live isn't this version, there's still going to be some stuff I have to update to improve it, and then I will update it live on Steam, Itch, Game Jolt for Windows, and once I can work with the people who handle those things, Linux and Mac. And I will try and sort out the issue which occasionally causes it to crash on transition, and then you do the exact same transition and it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm just going to hand it off right away. Then there's something I gotta deal with minimal.